Welcome back everyone. Time to do another iOS 14 video. Bro, all these views are going down now, so I gotta pump out iOS 14 content while I can. Now I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite settings that I've seen that you should actually change on iOS 14 or you should enable or disable. Now shout out to everyone making iOS 14 videos. These things are going off like crazy and I always love seeing people do certain things because I even learned so much from watching them. So I'm sure a lot of you guys already know these things. If you're advanced, then you probably already know these things. If not, then this is a really good place to start. Now, first of all, when you update to iOS 14, there are some really key features and some new features within here that are really cool that may not necessarily be enabled the very first time that you install iOS 14. Now, the very first thing that you should do is actually turn on the new call user interface. Now, when you're on iOS 14, you want to scroll down until you see phone. Now, I don't have a SIM card here, so it's not going to let me see it. But on my personal iPhone, I can go ahead and scroll down into phone, which is all the way down here. But what you want to do is locate the little incoming calls icon, which is right here. Now, once you see that, all you want to do is tap on it and you'll come into this page. Now, what this basically shows you is the banner and the full screen. So what this is that basically the full screen one is whenever someone normally FaceTimes you or calls you or whatever, it would usually come hijack the whole entire screen and you wouldn't be able to use it. Now, with the banner one, that's the new one, you want to enable this and now you'll only get a little drop down from the top and you can go ahead and dismiss it if you want to. And this is a really cool thing. If somebody calls you, you can still use your phone, you can do whatever, and the call user interface doesn't take up the whole entire display anymore, which is a humongous thing. So this is the very first thing I would recommend you guys to do. It's a very important thing and definitely one of my favorite features within iOS 14. And honestly, since iOS 14 I updated to it, I couldn't imagine going back to the normal way, to be honest. It just looks so much better this way. Now going back to my previous phone, this next thing is picture in picture. Now I'm sure 99% of you guys may already know this, but for some of you who just updated to iOS 14, maybe you don't even know how to enable or disable this. So if what you want to do is you want to go into your settings app, you want to go into the main screen just like this. You want to scroll down into general, so right here. Then you want to scroll down into picture in picture, which is right here. So you want to go ahead and tap on it. Now in this case, you'll be able to see, the specific picture in picture mode that you're in, and you can enable it so it starts up automatically, or whether you don't want it to start up automatically, you can go and disable this. Now what this means is that if you're watching a video or something on YouTube, now YouTube doesn't work anymore, but if you're on some other website or whatever, you can go and have it pop out once you tap to go ahead and pop it out to, or if you're on a FaceTime call, it'll go ahead and go into the lower left screen or lower right screen, either or, whichever way you have it oriented, and basically you can still FaceTime them while you're doing something else. You won't go on pause, but this is another really cool feature that I'm sure some of you guys may already know, but if you don't know, you can also disable this. If you don't want it to start up automatically, you can go ahead and disable it. So on a FaceTime call, once you swipe up your pause and all that crazy stuff too. So that's another really cool thing that I really do like. Now this next thing is something that has honestly been pretty annoying to me, but I'm glad Apple kind of addressed it here. So as most of you guys know, you have the option of having hidden photos. So as you can see here on your photo gallery, I don't have any hidden photos here, but I do have them on my personal device. And my biggest fear is like somebody going through them. Now I don't have any crazy photos, but it's still kind of weird. Now in iOS 14, you can actually hide that hidden folder, which is really, really cool. So in order to do this, what you want to do is you want to make your way into the settings app. You want to scroll down into photos. So you want to go ahead and tap here, and once you're here, you want to go ahead and scroll down and until you see hidden album. Now what this basically does is basically if you have a hidden album, you can go ahead and hide the hidden album by disabling this. And now if we go back to our photos app, you will see that the hidden folder is not there anymore. Now you can still search for hidden photos and stuff, but they just won't show here. Now in order to go back into your hidden library, all you'd want to do is just go here, enable this, go ahead and hop back out, and it'll basically be here back again. So you can go back and forth. Now, if you're doing this every day, maybe it'll be annoying, but if you're somebody who just doesn't want anybody seeing your hidden photos, then you can go and hide that specific thing right here, which is really cool. So that's exactly how you hide the new hidden photos. Now this next thing is more of a privacy concern than anything else. Now iOS 14 was a big update when it came down to visual changes, but it was also a big update when it came down to privacy changes. So what Apple did with iOS 14 now is basically if we have an app and it wants to access our location, we don't have to give it our exact precise location. We can actually give it a approximate location, which helps us kind of be a little bit more secure. Now to do this, what you want to do is you want to scroll down into privacy. You want to see your location services up here. You want to go ahead and tap on it. Now you want to go ahead and find an app that's maybe using your location. So for example, we have Siri and Diction here. Now this isn't really a good app to indicate to because Siri, if you're having GPS or whatever, you probably want it. But in this case, we can go ahead and turn off our precise location. You can go ahead and read it right here. It basically tells us, it'll give it an approximate location. So if you have an app like, Twitter or Snapchat or something like that, we can have it so we can turn off the precise location and only give it an approximate location. Now, like I said, this will kind of help us be a little bit more privacy, have a little bit more privacy. But again, some apps may actually need to use your exact location, like GPSs, maps, Google Maps, things like that. But different apps like, maybe Chrome or the App Store, maybe they don't really need our exact location. You can go ahead and turn them off here. So that's another really cool thing as well. Now, another thing we can do within iOS 14 is change some of the default apps. So in some email clients as well as our internet browsers, we can actually change the default browser that we're using. So in this case, what we want to do is, let's say we have Chrome installed, which we do. We want to go back into our settings. We want to scroll down until we find Chrome, which should be here somewhere. As you can see, it's right here. We can go ahead and tap on it. Now you'll see pretty much the same layout, but you will see a new little option that says default browser app. What we can do now is we can go and tap on it, and what you'll see is we have an option to choose from whichever default browser we want. So what this basically means is that if we click on a link in a text message or in a email or something, no longer will it take us straight to Safari if it's not our default. If we want the default to be Chrome, we can go ahead and set it up to be Chrome, so it'll no longer open into Safari. It'll open all those links and all those other things into Chrome, and this can be really cool to kind of alleviate the biggest problem we've had in a long time, which is depending on Safari for everything. And now you can actually step away from that. So now you can change our default browser. And you can also do the same thing with email now, and Gmail just supported it. Now I don't have Gmail on this device, but the process is exactly the same. You'll pretty much go back into your Gmail app, just like how I went to the Chrome app, click on default, just like this, and then you'll find the Gmail and you can go ahead and enable that too that way. So that's another way to do it, and that's another really big feature within iOS 14. Now, another thing that's new within iOS 14 that iPhone 11 series have had since I think iOS 13.5 or something like that, and this is the new feature within the video control. So we can now control the video resolutions within the camera app without having to go to the camera settings app within settings. So in order to do this, what you want to do is you want to go into your settings, you want to scroll down until you find camera, which is all the way down here. So once you see it, click on it. Now you'll see the standard layout. You want to go and click record video, which is the second option down. Now you will see right here at the very bottom, the second to the last one, it says video format control. Now as you can see, it'll say show the video format control on camera. You want to go ahead and enable this. Now what this does is that if we swipe out of here and we go into our camera app, what this will basically do is that if we record a video, we can go ahead and change our options in the top right corner. Now, like I said before, iPhone 11 Pros and the 11 series have had it since iOS 13.5. I've had this on iOS 13 for a minute, but now it's applicable to all iOS 14 devices, which is really cool. In order to change it, you just want to go ahead and tap on it just like this, and it'll go ahead and change whatever you want it to. So that's a really awesome thing too. So I have it set to HD. You can also change it to 4K if you want to and all that crazy stuff. And obviously with video here, you can also change the HD to 4K and HD and go back and forth. You can also change the frame rate right there. So that's another really, really cool thing that we have the capability of now with iOS 14 on all the devices that are supported. Now this next thing, I'm sure most of you guys already know, but you can actually now change and hide full pages on your iOS 14 device. So in order to do this, what you want to do is you want to hold down on an app. You want to click edit home screen, which is right there. And at this point, you'll see your little thing down here, the white bar toggle into a white action. So what you can do now is tap on here, you'll get into this layout, and what you can do here is literally uncheck whichever pages you don't want seen, and at this point you go and click done, and those pages will be hidden basically until we go ahead and accept it again. And that's really the main process on how to do that. Now this is to be really, really cool, so you don't have to click and drag and drop all these apps, and because we do have the new app library, this will make it so, maybe people will be more dependent on the app library. You can also swipe down and see all your apps still here. It's not deleting your apps, it's simply just hiding your apps, which I think is a really cool thing. And I'm really happy Apple actually added the more visual changes like that too, which is really awesome. Now this next thing is also another visual change, but it still has some, so basically what you want to do is you just want to hold down that power button or the home button, and you'll basically come into this specific section where Siri is just a small thing down below. Now we do have some more additional settings within Siri and search. So again, if we go into settings, and we scroll down into Siri and search, which is right here, we can go and tap on it. Now you have a couple of different options. Obviously you have the same ones as before, and I would recommend you guys to kind of go through here and kind of see which ones you want to and see which ones you want to have. But this is also another cool little feature that we have too, is a smaller Siri, which is really cool. Now, this last thing I want to hit on is actually a really interesting one, and that is another privacy thing that Apple did. Now, within settings, we can now actually have the ability to hide and create a private address for our Wi-Fi settings. So if we go into our Wi-Fi settings right here, go and click on I right there, you'll basically see a new little option called private address. Now what this basically does is our Wi-Fi address is not necessarily the same exact one that we have on this device. It's pretty much an example one, or a fake one, if you will. If we're using a Wi-Fi connection, or we're using an internet browser, whatever, that needs access to certain websites and certain things about this device, it'll basically mask it behind the specific Wi-Fi address. Now, it's not like a VPN or anything like that. It's just kind of like an extra layer of protection above what we already have. So I think that's another really awesome thing that Apple did here. Again, this was a pretty big privacy update, and I'm really glad they kind of focused in on this kind of stuff and kind of increased our overall security of our device. So ultimately, those are some of my favorite settings that you should probably go ahead and change or be aware of on iOS 14. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.